We are ready to race. Welcome everyone to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We are here at the Nürburgring, which is why we do also speak German. Hallo liebe Leute, alle hier an der Strecke und da draußen an den Endgeräten. Wir sind wieder da. Das zweite Rennen, das dritte Rennen schon des Wochenendes findet statt. Ein kleines bisschen Gelächter hier. Ich glaube, alle hören das jetzt gerade über die Screens. Großartig, denn es ist Gridwalk und das heißt, es ist absolut packed hier. Wir freuen uns total, euch alle hier zu sehen und zu begrüßen. Und ich hoffe, ihr habt definitiv die Handys schon mal raus für die nächsten Fotos und Autogramme. Die Stifte sind parat. So the autograph sessions going on here at the trucks. You get so close. The grid is absolutely packed by personnel and all the people and smiley, happy faces here at the Eifel at the famous Nürburgring. And after the great party yesterday and Saturday at the Mühlenbachschleife, but today the party continues. The party has arrived, as we say in Germany. So I'm here with Jari Dueñas. Good to see you. Hola, bienvenido a Nürburgring.
Hi, Christina. It's nice to be here with you.
He is a Mexican driver, an absolute star there, but we want to see you, of course, competing in the European Championship. Er ist ein absoluter Starfahrer in Mexiko. Wir wollen aber, dass er hier bei diesem Wettbewerb mitfährt in Europa. Was fehlt denn noch? What is missing? Just a small piece, I hope.
Well, it's not easy. You know, it's the FIA truck racing series, so it's a long way to go, but I hope in the near future we're here.
Das ist natürlich dadurch, dass es die offizielle FIA-Rennserie ist es nicht so ganz einfach, daran teilzunehmen. Aber wir haben mit ihm schon in Misano gesprochen und er arbeitet stetig und kontinuierlich daran weiter. Was ist denn so faszinierend am Truck Racing? What is fascinating about truck racing?
Well, you know, everyone is very passionate about that here in Europe. Every team member, you know, sleeps over thinking in trucks. So we want to have some of that too. And that's why we are continuing coming and we want to race here in the near future.
Er sagt natürlich, man schläft und träumt als Truck Racer dann halt nur noch von diesem Wettbewerb im Sport und deswegen will er daran unbedingt teilnehmen und das am besten ganz, ganz nah dran. The Nürburgring Special Track. What have you seen? Which is the most fascinating aspect on this track? Was ist denn das Faszinierende vor allen Dingen an dieser Rennstrecke hier?
Well, you know, it's a famous track around the world. In Mexico, Nürburgring is very famous. So this is my first time here and it's really impressive, the culture around the track, the size of the track, it's tremendous. So I believe I'm going to go to Mexico with a very good taste about Nürburgring.
Also er sagt auch, in Mexiko ist dieser Ring natürlich auch super bekannt und vor allen Dingen die Länge, wie es ausgestaltet ist hier. Und das ist tatsächlich etwas, was Menschen weltweit natürlich fasziniert, das ist doch klar. Fußball gibt es ja auch noch im nächsten Jahr. The World Cup Football is coming also to Mexico, but I think your favorite sport will still be truck racing. Aber ich glaube, sein bester Sport bleibt immer noch Truck Racing, oder?
Yeah, we're having the World Cup in Guadalajara. It's the city where I live. So if you are there, give me a call and we'll have some tequila.
Also wir sind alle eingeladen nach Guadalajara, da findet die Fußball-Weltmeisterschaft statt und einfach nur Jari anrufen und dann gibt es einen Tequila auf seinen Nacken. Ich glaube, da sagen wir definitiv Ja dazu. Großartig. What do you say about the competition today? And I know you've been with the team Clemens Hecker also invited, but who's your favorite driver? Can you say maybe who are your favorite teams?
Oh, well, I think it's you have a lot of diversity in drivers, so I don't have a favorite. You know, there's always the talented one, the young one, the experienced one. So I really like every one of them. You know, and we hope in soon we are part of them also. So I don't have favorites about teams. I don't have a favorite team. I'm very grateful with Clemens that he has been a host for me here in this weekend. And his team, I really like his team. I really like Scania. So we'll see. Maybe we can try a Scania soon.
Das war eine sehr diplomatische Antwort. Very diplomatic, of course, very good, because you never know if you're going to compete against someone. Also sagt er natürlich, er freut sich einfach über die Diversität des Feldes. Und das müssen wir ja auch sagen. Es gibt junge Fahrerinnen und Fahrer, es gibt die Erfahrenen, es gibt Teams, die neu dabei sind, die was umstellen. Und er hat natürlich aber trotzdem nochmal Dank an das Team von Clemens Hecker ausgesprochen und das Team von Scania, die natürlich ihm dann hier willkommen heißen, gerade hier auf dem Grid auch heute. Und dementsprechend hat er eine richtig gute Zeit. Hadi, so maybe we're going to interview you then next time with a helmet on, don't we? Also wir werden natürlich ihn das nächste Mal vielleicht mit einem Helm auf dann interviewen und wir begrüßen jetzt erstmal unsere Kommentatoren hier, unsere Deutschen, das wisst ihr, Joachim Eberts und Jörg Hennig und dann Chas Draker, the International English Commentator. Fonsi Sebrian, tu compañero, ¿no? Bienvenidos und wir gehen jetzt hier auf das Rennen Nummer 3 an diesem Wochenende. Muchas gracias, hasta.
Gracias y saludos también a Fonsi.
Fantastic to hear from Harry Dueñas, and yeah, we definitely hope to see him on the grid sometime soon. It'd be great to have a Mexican driver representing his country here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Hello again, everybody. Chas Draycott here on site this weekend at the Nürburgring for this fantastic ADAC International Truck Grand Prix and the third race of our weekend here in our championship. We have a great front row with Norbert Kish joined this time by Antonio Albacete, one of the first times this season that we've not had Jochen Hahn on the front row. Let's have a look at the highlights of race 2 from yesterday. It was a very exciting reverse grid race, as we so often have. Again, actually, Antonio Albacete was on the front row for that one as well. He finished 7th in the first race of the weekend. Not the result he would have wanted, but it put him alongside Jose Eduardo Rodriguez on the front row. The two of them were really pleased to be alongside one another, having a good old scrap. Antonio got the jump on him down in towards turn 1 and Jose Eduardo had to defend the inside line. René Reinert got through and before too long it was Steffi Halm trying to make the moves. Norbert Kish went down the inside of Sascha Lenz and made contact with Lucas Hahn at the chicane. Those two would then have to try and recover, while Jochen Hahn had to give a position back for gaining an unfair advantage over the chicane. Clemens Hecker was unfortunately out of the race with some damage, while a lot of the drivers continued on unscathed. Norbert Kish was making great progress through the order, as he always does, overtaking Steffi Halm while having to defend from Jochen Hahn, who was showing some great pace in the midpoint. He would soon get past Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and up into third. He'd be chasing down his teammate René Reinert in the later stages, who was also trying to get past Antonio Albacete. Antonio battling with a gearbox that wasn't operating as intended. The team would swap it out overnight. But obviously with the chance gone to do that mid-race, he had to battle on with what he had. He took the race victory, his first of 2025, with René Reinert second and Norbert Kish in third. In the Chrome class, it was another victory for Lucas Hahn, maximum points for him so far this weekend, and 2 second places for Mark Taylor. Means that he now closes right in on Bradley Smith in the Chrome Championship. Bradley has 131 points, while Mark has 127. As you see, the sunshine not quite as prominent as it was yesterday at the moment, although while my girlfriend and I were having a walk around the paddock earlier on, it was nice and sunny. We could feel the sunburn beginning. At the end of the day, we are British. And hopefully the weather picks up even further for this afternoon. It's promised quite high temperatures, so we'll see. But this is the Nürburgring at the end of the day. It could promise sunshine and then it'll snow. So you never know what you're going to get here. It's a real lottery of weather every 10 minutes at the Nürburgring. As you can see, fans in the grandstand waiting to get this third race underway. They'll be all really excited to see some of their favourite drivers take to the track. I know a lot of the drivers are excited for this as well. I'm sure Antonio Albacete is, starting from the front row of the grid. Great qualifying from him. And especially after having to change the gearbox overnight, they had to be definitely sure that it was going to be the right formula for today's performances. Sascha Lenz will be starting from 4th position on the grid. He'll be quite happy with that, considering that yesterday he didn't have the best of days, finishing in 6th and then 8th. This gives him a good chance to grab some hefty championship points. 3 podiums so far this season for Sascha, never finished higher than 3rd position. So he'll be hoping that if he's in the right battles here, he could potentially get up to that 2nd spot before the weekend is done. We're going to welcome our international TV audience all around the world in just a moment's time, so I'll go quiet for a second. We'll deploy the graphics and we'll be back with you in a moment.
Der besten 5 und so werden wir in Kürze auch einsteigen in das Geschehen.
It is the perfect day for racing. Welcome everyone to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Hallo, herzlich willkommen hier am Nürburgring. We are in Germany at the Eifel and it's the grid walk. Lots of fans meeting the drivers and we want to meet our first driver, John Newell. He's entering the truck grid. Hello, hello. And I've seen something different on him. Ich habe mal was Unterschiedliches bei ihm gesehen, nämlich that safety sound looking like a parachute. What is that?
It's a Simpson hybrid. It's a little bit different to the hands. It gives me a little bit more movement with my neck, which I prefer.
Also das System von Simpsons, was er ja gerade vorstellt, das macht, dass er so ein bisschen mehr auch noch Freiheiten hat hier im Nacken und das passt ihm ganz gut beim Fahren. But not to see someone in the rear mirror, aber nicht jetzt Rückspiegel zu schauen, oder?
No, not at all. Just keep looking forward. That's all that matters. We don't worry about behind.
Er sagt, wir müssen natürlich nur nach vorne schauen. Wir schauen jetzt nicht zurück und dementsprechend, aber dafür braucht er auch die Freiheit. What freedom do you need on track? Because it's very narrow sometimes in the turns, isn't it? Also manchmal ist es hier natürlich ganz schön eng in den Kurven.
Yeah, it is narrow in certain parts, but there's enough room for us. As long as we leave each other a little bit of space, we'll be all right.
Thank you very much. Also er sagt natürlich, ja, die Kurven sind eng, aber solange wir uns ein ganz kleines bisschen Platz lassen, dann reicht das schon. Also ihr merkt auch gerade, we are here at the middle of the field. Wir sind hier in der Mitte des Feldes and we want to show you how packed it is, not only by the fans walking through here. And as you can see, they are leaving the grid, but we still can stay on and show you some of the pictures we got. And of course, we got international commentators for you. And in 3 languages, we do provide German and of course Spanish and English commentary for you. So welcome everyone around the world. It's truck racing time.
Truck racing time indeed here at the Nürburgring and the ADAC International Truck Grand Prix. Chaz Draycott here, British commentator for the series, on site at the Nürburgring for this weekend. It's an absolute joy to be here once again at this incredible event. We have this lovely circuit as well before us, the Nürburgring. We're not on the Grand Prix circuit-ish. We're on the shorter version of it that heads back up quite quickly up to the chicane. The bottom half used for the Mullenbach-Schleife, which is the massive festival that goes on here at the ADAC International Truck Grand Prix. It is a joy to be here, like I say. The Mullenbach-Schleife was wonderful last night with some epic fireworks to show us all a wonderful time. As you can see, there's cars going around the Nordschleife as well, as things go. A very busy weekend here at the Nürburgring for everybody involved. And the conditions at the moment, not the hottest that we've seen, but it's not usually as calm when it comes to the wind here at the Nürburgring. Just 8 km/h winds today. So hopefully that won't affect things too much for the drivers. And it means that it won't blow the weather through the area quite as much today. We've got Norbert Kisch at the top of the championship with 183 points. He is a substantial difference ahead of Jochen Hahn, now 45 points. A maximum score in a race weekend is 60 points, 20 from races 1 and 3 each, and then 10 from each of races 2 and 4. As you can see, though, a packed grid and a packed pit lane as well. So many people here at the Nürburgring this weekend. Went on a walk through the paddock earlier on to see some of my good friends, and it was absolutely rammed. Let's go to Mark Taylor. He's in the top 6 for this race.
Und ja, heute Morgen hat uns das Team von Mark Taylor verraten, was jetzt diese geheime Zutat ist, warum Mark Taylor heute so gut fährt. Es ist das britische Frühstück. Bacon, Eggs, ne? Schön Ei und Bacon noch dazu. Fragen wir mal nach, ob es wirklich so stimmt. He said earlier this morning, the secret ingredients of the success, your teammate said it, was the British breakfast. Is that true?
Oh yeah, you've got to start a good day on a good breakfast, and that's what we've done today.
Also er sagt auch, das ist natürlich die wichtigste Mahlzeit am Tag. Insofern, start your day right. What is it about that you can succeed more? Because and it's been good qualifying time, but where do you want to see yourself at the end of the race? Wo will er sich denn am Ende des Rennens sehen?
I would like to see myself roughly where I am now. Even if I lose a space, it doesn't matter. But I just want to be left on the track, not knocked off, and just one good clean race.
Er will ein sauberes Rennen und am liebsten wäre es ihm auch eigentlich so ungefähr in dieser Positionierung das Rennen zu beenden, vielleicht einen Platz weniger oder mehr, das ist dann schon alles in Ordnung. Geht ja nachher auch um die Positionierung im Reverse Grid, also dann, wenn natürlich das Rennen wieder umgedreht wird, sozusagen for the Reverse Grid, good position should be fine then.
Yeah, hopefully we'll go off the line altogether and get round the first few corners and all stop on the track and just keep racing.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Genau darum geht es nämlich auch jetzt, eine gute Positionierung zu finden, auch dann nachher für Rennen 2. Das ist das erste Rennen, was wir heute sehen, hier an einem Sonntag. Und das Schöne ist, wir haben 2 für euch im Gepäck und gleich geht's hier los auf der Strecke. Stay tuned, we are ready to race. Chaz, our English commentator. He's in a good mood. You are too, aren't you?
Always in a good mood, Christina. I absolutely love it here. Every day with the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is a good day in my eyes. No matter what, it is great fun to be a part of the championship, and a lot of the drivers and teams all agree the same. Such a lovely atmosphere here. It's a paddock full of wonderful people, and we are the one truck family. I always tell people it's not just a hashtag that we put on social media for no reason. Everybody helps each other out in this championship. The amount of times that we've seen drivers have an engine failure or some sort of failure between races and then seen other teams helping them out to get them fixed and get them back out on the circuit is absolutely countless. And you cannot replace that. You don't see that in many other forms of motorsport at all. It's great to have it here as well. Such wonderful support from one another. Even across championships as well, actually. We have the Dutch Truck Racing Championship with us here this weekend. I was speaking to my good friend Craig Reed, and he was telling us that he'd got some parts from Jochen earlier on, actually. They both run Ivecos. So, what about this thing? The Ford F-Max. It's the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It was 2019 International Truck of the Year, and it's the machine that we use for our inspection laps here in the series. And May Fisher is behind the wheel, putting it through its paces. As you can see, some thick black rubber lines going down as she powers it through the corners. She has a guest on board as well, a very lucky passenger. May is a great driver and really puts this thing through its paces. It was designed and tested by 500 Ford engineers over a 5-year period. There was 15,500 lab testing hours put in and over 5 million kilometers of road testing. They used about 200 prototype units for it. And now, as a result, we have a user-friendly truck that from the moment it made its debut became a very strong competitor on the market. It's been lovely to see a lot more of them on the road over here in Germany as well. I must admit, from a bit of a nerdy perspective, one of the coolest things about coming to these different countries for different events here is seeing the different types of trucks and the different manufacturers you see on the road. There's an interesting balance between all the different manufacturers in different countries. But as you can see, May really putting this thing around the circuit at a high pace as the fans wait to see the action. There's a lot of wonderful grass banks and grandstands and things around this track, so many good vantage points for fans to watch from and enjoy the cuisine as well. As the inspection lap comes to a close, the grid will prepare to leave. All the personnel are now making their way off the grid. There's a few FIA technical delegates still there ready to clear the way, just making sure everybody is behaving themselves as May completes her inspection lap. It's also got the function, of course, of making sure there's no debris, no spillages, nothing on the circuit that could affect how the race runs. There is a purpose, at least, as the fans all spot themselves on the large screens and wave away. There's a lot of big screens around the circuit here at the Nürburgring. It's fantastic for spectators because they get so much information as the races go on, rather than just seeing the individual part of the circuit right in front of them. They get a view of the whole environment and every bit of the race that we broadcast here on our channel. As you see now, the grid is void of any marshals or any team personnel. A marshal in one of the grass skirts makes their way down to the chicane, ready to wave the ADAC grid board. It's a bit of a theme here at the Nürburgring. There's a certain marshal's post by the final corner where they all make their way down and take it in turns to dance and wave the grid board for the field to come through. It's fantastically funny. It's such a unique weekend of motorsport. And you've got the amazing Mullenbach Schleifer with all the show trucks and the fireworks display. There's a concert that takes place in the hairpin as well. And you've got the go and stop competitions and even helicopters, it seems, as the air rescue helicopter lands back at the circuit. A wonderful example of what I believe is an Augusta helicopter. Great looking bit of kit. So the field makes their way away then, and quite a bit of weaving going on here to begin with. Not the highest temperatures so far today, but they're feeling the start-finish straight here underneath them, because just before qualifying earlier today, the Dutch Truck Racing Championship had their first race of the day, and there was a large engine failure for a good friend of mine, Robin Kruithoff, who completely blew a piston out the side of the engine, ended up in the gravel trap, but it put a lot of fluid down the start-finish straight, and the marshals, I must say, have been absolutely brilliant and rapid in getting that sorted to make sure the start-finish straight is clear, but obviously with cement dusting things down, it changes the grip levels, so the drivers have to be careful. This is our Iveco S E-Way, the 100% electric pace truck from Iveco. Iveco, one of the main players in the global transport sector, establishing a global presence on the world stage as a manufacturer and commercial provider in some of the most important industries around the world. Norbert Kish and Antonio Albacete start on the front row of the grid. There are 9 titles between the pair of them. Add another 6 to that, with Jochen Hahn starting behind them in third. Sasha Lenz in 4th position. Not quite won a title yet, but so close on so many occasions. Lucas Hahn and Mark Taylor make up row 3 of the grid, the 2 lead chrome drivers in this race. They'll be looking forward to a solid start from there and hopefully some big points. Behind them, Rene Reiner and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Rene hoping for a much better race than he had in yesterday's first one. He seemed to get stuck in the midfield and not able to make further progress. He'll want to progress from where he is today. Behind them, John Newell and Steffi Halm side by side on the next row of the grid. Then Clemens Hecker alongside Bradley Smith, 2 more chrome drivers in their 6th row. Stefan Faas lines up alongside Louis Requenco. Requenco had a great burst of pace in the earlier part of the season, but today's not been able to quite switch it on just yet. Next up, Luke Garrett in 15th position, really enjoying the championship this year and enjoying the challenge, with Stefan Kirsch alongside him. And Christian Ruppert lines up at the back of the grid, and still with that smile on his face. Christian has been thoroughly enjoying himself in the truck racing. He's clearly a man with the correct screw loose, as he's done sidecar racing and motocross before in the past. So he's certainly, like I say, the correct level of crazy that we love here. There is the marshal doing the dance with the grass skirt. That's absolutely brilliant. Always. They swap out who wears it and everything for every single race, and they are so much fun. But, like I said, the marshals here at the Nürburgring, absolutely phenomenal, really switched on, really quick to respond to everything, while also having a very good time and enjoying their motorsport. Let's get this underway then, shall we, everybody? Race number 3 of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship at the Nürburgring gets underway with Norbert Kish and Antonio Albacete off the front row. They really spread out behind. Louis Requenco going all the way over to the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn is right up behind Norbert Kish, heading down into turn 1. Lucas Hahn follows his father, line astern. Sasha Lenz goes for a wide line on the entrance to try and cut it down the inside on the exit. Looks like a bit of contact in the middle there. Steffi Halm trying to get down the inside of Rene Reiner. Clemens Hecker just alongside Bradley Smith. Looks like Requenco was pushed out wide, and there was a bit more contact in the midfield there. I think that was Jose Eduardo Rodriguez getting squeezed to the inside by Rene Reiner and Steffi Halm. Steffi still on the inside line. Rene tries to give it him back. Climbs and crawls all over the curb. Can't quite get the words out. John Newell down the inside of Bradley Smith then. Looks like everybody's avoiding something, and it's Rene Reiner. Rene Reiner is around. There's another truck involved in that as well. I think Stefan Faas may be involved. Oh, there's 3 of them involved, and big damage to John Newell's truck. Bodywork everywhere, smoke everywhere as well. He floors it across the gravel to get it going. But Bradley Smith was in that. I think maybe Rene had the spin, and I know that Bradley and John were side by side going into the corner. So maybe they came together as a result of trying to avoid it. John put his nose down the inside. Bradley was a little bit further to the outside of the corner. And Sasha Lenz, oh dearie me, Rene's had a big hit on that front right. That is a lot of damage to the MAN, and that will not be going anywhere, and it's red flagged, understandably. I was going to say Sasha Lenz was slowing down a lot there. I imagined it was because it had been red flagged, but somehow Rene is going to try and limp that back as it snaps and breaks the fiberglass. I'm not even sure that panel in the side there is his. I think that's from John Newell's truck, you know, because it's got the red underneath it. Although then again, this truck was red last season, so potentially it's just part of that that's been folded over. But that is a rather devastated looking number 77, and rightly Rene Reinert parks the thing. There's no rush to get it back and out of the way. With it being a red flag, they know that they're going to completely neutralise the race. But Rene was in a big scrap there with Steffi Halm. I think that Rene, he tried to put his nose down the inside of Steffi into turn 2, and it looked like Jose Eduardo Rodriguez tried to get his nose down the inside as well. They ended up 3 wide. They didn't know that they were 3 wide, and that's when the initial contact came in, and then it was elbows out a little bit further from there. And we're told from race control that trucks will head back onto the grid, and there is the damage to Bradley Smith's truck. Look at that, the front left completely battered in, and the right-hand side as well has been pulled away from that front corner. I think maybe John had bounced off the inside of his truck and then into Rene, but once we get confirmation, well, Rene's okay, he's out of the truck. John carried on, Bradley carried on, so gives us a good sign that everyone's okay. That's the main thing. The safety in these trucks is incredible, I must say. I had the amazing pleasure to be a passenger with Antonio Albacete 2 years ago here at the Nürburgring for some sort of sighting laps, let's say, as they did the media rides. And you feel so safe being so high up in these trucks. You know, the cab is so far away from any of the contact, really, that they have with each other. And even when they do have contact, they're so sturdy. The fiberglass may break it. It looks very dramatic, and tyres may, you know, pop and fall off, but it's not major damage to the actual chassis or the vehicle itself. So it's good to see that Rene is okay, despite the damage looking so dramatic. And I wonder if we'll have a potential replay of what happened there. They're lifting the front axle up as now that piece has actually come away. Oh, dearie me. What has happened there? That's broken the windscreen. That has. I've just realised it's cracked the windscreen. Here's a replay then. So Rene was around, and then John was around as well. Couldn't quite piece it together from that, unfortunately, but Rene was already around before Bradley and John Newell got on the scene. But whatever just came away there and jolted the truck down has just broken the windscreen. They'll have to replace that before the next race. Rene, understandably, not very happy. But with the contact and what went on, he won't be happy anyway. Big damage to the front of that machine. And all down the right-hand side as well. The right rear arch has been hit as well. You can see that it's slightly dislodged. And then understandably frustrated Rene Reinert. I know what Rene's like. He's a level-headed bloke, so he'll know it's part of the game. Unfortunately, races don't always go your way. I think maybe a little bit fired up after that initial contact and that first battle with Steffi and Jose Eduardo. He's gone into the next corner trying to hold his position by any means necessary, and it has ultimately cost him. He jumps back in the cab. They lift the front end up, and something's gone again, has it? That bodywork is now to be removed. And it looks like one of the straps has come off or something. This unfortunately taken a bit longer than planned. I think they need to give it the magic tap when they tap it twice and say that's not going anywhere, but in German, of course. And then it will definitely not come loose. We all know that that's the magic trick. So the communication from race control is that the trucks will go back onto the grid, which they have, and no team members are currently allowed to go on the grid. They need to wait for scrutineering to clear the condition of all the trucks. So the FIA will look at each of the vehicles and basically give them the go-ahead to say, you know, are they safe to continue to race? Similar to what we saw at Misano with Antonio Albacete, the FIA have the final word on that. Let's go down and hear from Christina, shall we?
Ja, aber natürlich versuchen wir jetzt auch erstmal herauszufinden, was genau passiert ist. Auch mit Sven Walter konnte ich gerade ganz kurz sprechen. Er hat Funkkontakt gehabt zu Bradley Smith. Es gab wohl die Situation, dass er parallel zu John Newell war und dann halt eben nachher dieser Incident, der Vorfall passiert ist mit René Reinhardt. Das Team von Smith Don't Touch Racing versucht gerade natürlich alles, dass sie weiter starten können. Ein bisschen was dürfte repariert werden. Jetzt darf natürlich gerade niemand mehr raus aufs Grid. Also ein bisschen Restrisiko bleibt. Aber wenn wir da natürlich auch mehr wissen für euch, dann bleiben wir da weiterhin dran. So for English audience, I've talked to Sven Walter and he had contact with Bradley Smith. So he was driving side by side with John Newell and then the incident happened. We need to analyze it furthermore what happened. But the truck of Bradley Smith should be competing again. Normally they wanted to fix something on there, but they're not allowed to do so. So we get the trucks back on the grid right now, back to competition, and that we can start soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christina. Great to get the scoop on what's going on there with these guys. Bradley Smith and the rest of the trucks are just going past. I can tell you that Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's front right corner is damaged. John Newell, the entire right-hand panel is gone off John Newell's truck. The front bumper is hanging down as well. Stefan Fast doesn't look like he's got any damage on. Luke Garrett's truck looks completely fine. Although, to be honest, Luke, you could straighten your rear bumper bar out a bit, mate. They've got Christian Ruppert coming through as well. Truck looks immaculate as ever. Christian keeping that thing in a really good nick and ensuring that nothing happens. But yet to come past is Bradley Smith, and it's being checked over by the FIA quite a lot, that truck actually. My girlfriend Charlotte, luckily here in the office with me, has just taken a picture out the window down the straight. I can't quite see Bradley's truck from here, but yeah, Franz, Connie and the FIA are walking around it. It looks like the front left corner is bashed in quite hard. The front bumper has sort of almost gone through. It looks like something out of a video game where the bumper has sort of rendered through the front bumper bar. Louis Requenco and Stefan Kirsch have just gone through. There is the damage to John Newell's truck. Front right bumper hanging down. But as you see, body panel on the right completely gone. And I know that the teams are obviously precious about the bodywork and the look of their truck, but it's in inverted commas just fiberglass at the end of the day, so it doesn't have a colossal bearing on the performance of the trucks. I'm told Bradley Smith is coming into the pit lane. Yes, you can just see in the background there, he's been told to come into the pits, so I think that'll be the word that he is not going to be competing in the rest of this race, which is a massive, massive shame. And yes, Barbara Proskin, the race controller, has just said that number 11 is not allowed to restart the race. He'll have to leave the grid as he hasn't been cleared by scrutineering. One team member from each team will be allowed onto the grid. So there is the huge lens recovery machine. It's one of the coolest things about truck racing is the fact that while the vehicles are big, the things that come and recover them are even bigger. And Bradley's truck has just come past into the pit lane and the entire right-hand side of that thing is devastated. The front left as well, as you can see, is pushed through. Big damage, but strange damage to have as well, because I think maybe the right-hand side is maybe a result of the contact with John Newell, and I think maybe it's the front left of Bradley's truck that's hit the front right of René's truck. I wonder if, with John on the inside, Bradley has tried to avoid René spinning in front of him, turned right into John, and that's what spun John around as well. But then he too has also lost bodywork on the right-hand side. I don't know how they can all do that, how they can all hit the right-hand side against the right-hand side, unless obviously one of them was facing the wrong way, which it's likely would have been René. We saw that René had spun. So I could speculate all day. You know what I'm like. I could speculate all day on what happened and who did what and who didn't do what. But at the end of the day, the important thing is the drivers are okay. The safety in this championship and in truck racing is very high. It's to an incredible standard. And there you can see Norby's very passionate fans there with the Hungarian flag on the balcony as soon as they... Oh, I've got that blue shirt. As soon as they see themselves on the balcony, they give us a wave. Fantastic. Norby has some of the most passionate fans we've ever seen. When we were at the Slovakia ring last time out, a lot of his fans made the trip over there. Now, look at this. This is intriguing. This has turned into quite the operation here. They've put chocks behind René Reinert's truck. And there's some wooden blocks there to potentially lift that front wheel off the ground. But then where will it move? They know what they're doing, I don't. But an unfortunate situation here in the third race of the weekend. Tempers definitely flared a little bit at the start of that one, didn't they? I think there was a few interesting bits of contact throughout that one. We're told that the restart will be in 10 minutes' time, 12:21. So the teams have enough time to sort of recalibrate and re-prepare. And they're... okay, so they're going to try and lift René's truck from underneath the front. So rather than lifting the thing from below the windscreen, here's the good old-fashioned zip tie repair method. If you can't fix it with duct tape or zip ties, you're not using enough of either, they say. This is some real truck racing engineering going on here. Stitch the bodywork together with zip ties. You love to see it. Great stuff. They've got a lot to do. They've actually got that right-hand panel. It's just that it had been pulled away. Drill through it, and then get the zip ties in, boys. Casino there from T-Sport Bernau. Professional zip tie holder, as you see. Preparing to help the guys out. Casino's a lot more useful than that, trust me. He's a great guy, is Casino. He was awarded with a lovely award at the, funnily enough, awards dinner a couple of years ago for his commitment to the series and how much he helps everybody in the paddock and does so much. I've seen him this weekend helping Javier Martin from Goodyear as well. Great to see Javier, always working with a big smile on his face. So the repairs go on, and I wonder whether we'll get them out. Here we go then. So that's what the wooden blocks were for. They're going to lift up that front right wheel, obviously, which, because of being flat, it's now reduced the ground clearance of the front of René Reinert's truck, so they can get it attached to the front axle and move him elsewhere. I was going to say, that mechanic hopefully won't bang his head on that very sharp piece of framework there that holds the bumper on. His colleague helping him out tenfold there. Almost like magic, it looks like it's a fully inflated tyre again. Have to mention, though, how cool is that Scania recovery truck? That is a proper wagon, isn't it? That's a really cool bit of kit to see. And I know as well, I mean, René won't be happy about this situation, but a lot of people around the world watching this will love the fact they get to see a recovery in operation like this with such a massive vehicle. And at the end of the day, this is what tests the resolve of these teams. You know, these are the tests of motorsport that get thrown at our squads. And that bodywork panel looks very well put back together. There was the damage on the front left, at least, of Bradley's truck. The bumper bar pushed completely in. As everybody around the circuit waits for further information and looks for more timing and updates and so on. Everybody getting a bit of airtime. But the marshals also just waiting, as you can see, to get the action back underway. 6 minutes till the restart. They're still having a good time, at least. Still enjoying themselves. And that's one of the best things. And right, here comes the big repair then for Bradley's team. Fixing the front end. Have they brought an entire new front bumper there? Oh, the bumper bar is very mangled, but they've still got time. This will be one of the quickest bumper bar repairs you'll see, as they unbolt it from the chassis rails. And there, René Reinhardt's truck now getting recovered. Not the way he would have wanted to go around the circuit. But as mentioned, the main thing is he's okay. It looked like quite a nasty incident in a small space, but all of the drivers have gotten out of it unscathed as they now try to re-secure that front bumper. And thankfully, the drone can follow René wherever he goes and get some lovely shots of the recovery. They'll take that probably through the back of the paddock, so it's a bit sooner. And look, you see, they're ready with another bumper bar, another entire front end for this truck. This is one of the coolest things about truck racing, is the repair efforts are amazing. It's overwatched by the ADAC. And a great team effort, this, by Don't Touch Racing. Lots of screws and bolts and things to undo. That's it, just smack it. Smack it with the spanner and it'll come out eventually. It seems like because of the way that it's bent, that bumper bar, it's obviously sealed the bolt within, as René is now pulled behind the barrier. That would clear the grid for a restart now. It just means that Bradley Smith's team will have to hurry up. They've got 4 minutes left to go, and they're ready to put another bumper bar on. That's one of the metal supports there that holds the bodywork in place. I think it must have been pretty sharp as it caught the guy's hand there, bless him. He made it very clear that that was not comfortable. But what a great repair effort this is by them. While the rest of the grid sits there preparing, all sort of stewing in their own thoughts, the team is getting ready to get that machine back out. The fans all waiting patiently as well. The ones on top of the pit lane have got a fantastic view of that repair effort by the team of the number 11 machine. We're going to go back down to Christina, who's on the ground down there.
Es ist natürlich ein Rennen gegen die Zeit. 4 Minuten hat das Team hier noch und versucht halt alles. Harry Duenas, den haben wir vorhin kennengelernt, mexikanischer Truckdriver. How impressive is it to see the teamwork right now? They've got 4 minutes left. Do you believe in the team?
Yeah, it's impressive how everyone is working. They even went running to the truck for the spare parts, and they were back very fast. So I hope they can get to the start again.
What is the adrenaline level of this situation? Wie hoch kann das Adrenalin in so einer Situation sein?
Yeah, you're here standing up, watching them, and you want to help, so you feel the rush also.
Absolutely. Also One Truck Family, sogar wir haben das Gefühl, wir wollen hier irgendwas machen, aber am besten tun wir das, indem wir natürlich hier nicht intervenieren. Aber ihr seht es gerade, 2, 4, 6, 7 Leute sind gerade dabei und versuchen natürlich jetzt ihr allerbestes. Ein paar Minütchen haben wir noch. They're absolutely giving their absolute best. 7 person directly working as a team. All the best.
Fantastic repair effort by these guys. Thoroughly enjoying watching this, actually. I know that it's a lot of hard work for them, and it's obviously a bit of a frantic situation to be in, but it's just awesome to see it. So the update was that if the truck is fixed before the restart and cleared by scrutineering, he is allowed to join the formation lap at the back. They don't have long left to go, though. They have less than a minute. But I think as long as he can be cleared before the formation lap is completed, he could probably get onto the circuit and get out there and crack on and catch them up. Although I believe it's just about to go 12:20, and there it is. The timer ticks down. And they're working to get that bumper bar completed. Obviously, it has to be all completely bolted into the chassis. It's an integral part of the structure of the truck, really. In case of an accident, it has to be ready and in place. They're working to get the bodywork on each of the corners now. And they're hoping to get the front bumper parts on. And I think they've got two right-hand parts. Oh no, they've got two right-hand corners. I don't think they need the left corner on though, particularly. I think they can still be cleared without that, but I'd have to speak to Franz and Connie from the FIA. And the green flag is waved at the front. So the guys have gone running to hopefully get the pieces. But I think as long as they cover the front of the cab with that panel that they were holding, then they should be okay to join the formation lap. Back once again, though, we see our, well, an extra display of our Iveco S-E-Way, the fully electric pace truck. And Nico Schwer from Iveco is behind the wheel. And the field now makes their way through the Mercedes-Benz Arena. So many wonderful race trucks in our pack for this weekend. 17 of them at full stretch. It's great to see the championship bringing in such a big amount of trucks, extending the number past what we've had in previous seasons. They make their way out of the Mercedes-Benz Arena now, down towards the hairpin. And the repair job almost complete here. They've got that front panel on, the front grille on. And Bradley is told to stay where he is. Franz just checking over everything there. You can see Rudy from the ADAC. Connie also arriving on the scene as well, just to make sure that everything's all above board. As long as they can get out before the end of the formation lap, he can at least join the race and still try to score some points in the chrome category. This is a big hit to Bradley's championship. John Newell, I believe, is still out there as well, so he got away with that one. It's just René Reinert that we've lost from the race at present. But the field is making its way up towards the chicane now. And if they're going to fix this, then they need to do it mighty quick. There he is then, moving to the end of the pit lane. And a massive round of applause from everybody there as the other mechanic turns up with the front left panel, unfortunately to no avail as it won't be going on the truck. But what a mammoth effort that was by the team to get that truck out. Now, I think he may be able to join the race from the back. He'll be able to start from the end of the pit lane once the field has gone through. We get another dance from the marshal down there at the chicane. And we'll try this again, shall we? Norbert Kish and Antonio Albacete on the front row. Jochen Hahn and Sascha Lenz on row 2. And for the second time today, race 1 is underway. And they rumble past the window. Jochen Hahn moves over to the left-hand side. That signifies to me that Antonio Albacete's got a slightly better start than Norbert Kish. They go side by side down towards turn 1. Sascha Lenz is on the outside. They're nearly 3 wide on the way in. Is Antonio going to squeeze his old teammate to the apex? No, not quite. Norby gets it tucked in nicely. Great stuff from him. Manages to make the most of that situation. And Bradley Smith is back out on the circuit. That is mega. Absolutely mega. He may not score many points from this, but boy, will he be happy to have gotten that back out on track. Jochen Hahn and Sascha Lenz have had a bit of contact in there. And now Jochen has dropped into 4th place. Sasha moves into a podium spot. Not the start that Jochen would have wanted. Too wide in the middle of the pack there. John Newell trying to go side by side with Luke Garrett, I think that was. There's a little piece of bodywork flapping around on what I think is Clemens Hecker's truck. I think the left rear panel just moving around a bit. Lucas Hahn, Steffi Halm both following on from Jochen there. Everybody making it cleanly through, but Norbert Kish, what a great start that it ended up being anyway. He didn't get the initial launch that he would have wanted. Mark Taylor is actually flapping a bit of bodywork about. Everybody else trying to keep themselves to themselves, but Bradley Smith already, because of the checkup of how close all the field was, Bradley already on the back of Christian Ruppert. Straight off the bat here, he is in the picture, and he is in the train. That is absolutely awesome. So the investigation will begin for the incident that caused all of that damage. But it's Norbert Kish, Antonio Albacete, and Sasha Lenz, the top 3 at the moment. Jochen Hahn trying to chase down Sasha and get that position back. Then it's Lucas Hahn leading the Chrome class. Steffi Halm then ahead of Mark Taylor, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Clemens Hecker currently running in 3rd place in the Chrome class, I believe. Yes, he is. Stefan Fast is 4th. John Newell is 5th. And there's the move from Jochen Hahn down the inside of Sasha Lenz. And he gains 3rd position before they get to the start-finish line. Just had a quick look out of the window, and the Iveco is ahead. We're going full race distance for this one as well, by the look of it. They're not shortening the race due to the red flag. We'll get all of our trucks doing all of our laps. And right now, the battle is on between Jochen Hahn and Sasha Lenz. Sasha has had a good turn of pace here this weekend. They had a lot of setup issues going to places like Slovakia Ring. But they've managed to figure it all out. And right now, Antonio Albacete will want this battle to continue so that he doesn't have to defend from Jochen Hahn. And he needs some big championship points, does Antonio. Had a great day yesterday with a race victory. But he wants to carry on that momentum and work on closing down on the likes of Steffi Halm and René Reiner. Had a quick chat with Tim Frost between races, and he's feeling quietly confident that Antonio will do the job. Tim has got such a level head with these scenarios, and he's always very realistic about his chances. And I know that a 2nd place will probably, I mean, in a strange way, the 2nd place in this race would probably mean more to the team than the win yesterday, because of the massive amount of points that it brings you compared to your rivals, especially with Steffi Halm in 6th place and now René Reiner out of the race. So any points that Antonio Albacete gets will be points gained over René Reiner. Whole field skating their way through the chicane. Looks fantastic from that angle. Mark Taylor under pressure from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. That's something we saw a lot last season when they were fighting in the Chrome class, but this time round, of course, one is the Titan driver, one is Chrome. Just looking at the championship standings between Albacete and the likes of René Reiner and Steffi Halm, if Albacete gets 15 points, that will put him on 72. He'd only be 13 points behind René Reiner then as well. That'll make a massive difference to his championship. He'll also gain points over Steffi. Steffi will still score well being in the top 6, but yeah, it'll massively help Antonio. But that's why we love this sort of racing. You never know what can happen. You never know which way the championship battles can go. And we'll keep our eye on that. We'll keep an eye on this as well. Mark Taylor and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez right together. Mark doesn't have to fight Jose Eduardo here. At the end of the day, he's 2nd in the Chrome class right now, so he's on for some silverware, on for another podium. Lucas Hahn would take his 3rd Chrome win out of 3 if he wins this race here. Mark would take his 3rd, 2nd place out of 3 races. Bradley Smith has gotten ahead of Christian Ruppert, so he moves up a place in his class. He's 9th in Chrome now, though, so that's only 2 championship points. Whereas Mark would get 15 and Lucas would get 20. Lucas not really in the championship fight with him, but obviously that 4-point advantage would suddenly disappear from Bradley, and it'd be a 14-point deficit to Mark Taylor. Sorry, a 9-point deficit, I do apologise. Or would it be 11? No, of course it would, Chaz. Awful maths. 11 points the way of Mark Taylor. And again, the championship lead would change hands. We'll have to see how the battle goes. There's a bit of trim or something flapping away on Clemens Hecker's truck. And the incident between trucks 11, 18 and 77 now under investigation. So they brought John Newell's race number into the investigation. It's a penalty marker warning for trucks 38 and 18. That is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and John Newell. And I mean, look at Clemens Hecker's truck, look at Stefan Fars's truck. There's bits hanging off both of them. As down the inside goes Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, makes the move into turn 1, overtakes Mark Taylor, but again, Mark will only lose a single championship point from that position overall, and he won't lose a championship point when it comes to the Chrome class, so he doesn't have to worry about anything there. There's no need for him to really fight that too hard. Bradley Smith there trying to now make the most of his team's hard work to get back in front of Stefan Kirsch. Stefan joining us again for this weekend after missing 2 race meetings at Lausitz Ring and the Slovakia Ring. He was out of the races due to injury, but it's good to have him back. Running at full power on 100% renewable HVO diesel, which powers all of our race trucks. You'll notice the lack of black smoke from our machines. There are observers around the circuit as well that keep an eye on the emissions coming from the trucks, and if it is considered that any of them basically breach the ethos of the championship by having these nasty emissions, then they are told to come back into the pit lane and sort it out, whether it's down to changing something on the ECU or changing something mechanically. They're told to come back in. But I tell you what, I think right now between Clemens Hecker and Stefan Fast, they've probably got 1 truck's worth of panels that are stuck to the body because there's just pieces flapping off the pair of them. It looks like they haven't been fastened down right. It's like a tent in the wind. There's just bits flapping around everywhere. It looks very entertaining, but I know that the team have got a lot of faff to deal with between races. We've had a penalty marker warning for Lucas Hahn. So he's had to adhere to track limits a little bit more. Well, he's going to have to anyway. There's Norbert Kish then out of the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Antonio Albacetti still holding on to second place. Third place, Jochen Hahn. Jochen on that previous lap was actually about half a tenth of a second slower than Antonio. But Jochen will push to try and gain places and gain championship points. Norby at the moment is leading the way, and we'll go down to Christina.
Der größte Applaus für das Team von Don't Touch Racing. Das war ja wirklich auf die allerletzte Sekunde. Sven Walter kann wieder ein kleines bisschen atmen, transpiriert noch etwas. Was ist das für eine Teamleistung gewesen?
Eine großartige. Vielen lieben Dank an meiner Crew. Ihr habt einen geilen Job gemacht. Vielen lieben Dank dafür.
Absolutely massive support for the crew and heads off for this team effort they did. Was für eine Chance hat Bradley jetzt noch? Der ist ja gerade auch im Attackiermodus.
Ich denke mal, dass wir aktuell noch die Chance haben, vielleicht auf den 4. Platz der Chrom-Klasse zu kommen, noch 2, 3 Überholmanöver zu sehen und ein spannendes Rennen bis zum Schluss noch zu verfolgen.
Toi, toi, toi. Dankeschön. So he's trying to get on 4th position, maybe in the Chrome category, still trying to compete. Massive team effort.
Yeah, it was amazing to see that. Absolutely amazing to see. And hats off to Don't Touch Racing. That was awesome teamwork to get that truck fixed, get it back out on track. Bradley Smith still chasing down Stefan Kirsch at the moment. He's 9th in the class right now, but as Sven said, if he can get up into 4th position, maybe get past the likes of Kirsch, Requenco, Garrett, even Newell, then he can salvage some championship points and stop that gap from increasing to Mark Taylor. But as I was just saying, Norbert Kish leading the way. 1:54.8 on that previous lap, just 0.2 of a second faster than Antonio Albacete, but he's just opening that gap more and more as he goes on. There's the very naked looking truck of John Newell, actually, just the framework basically holding that thing together. He's still got the rear arches on, but the side panel's completely gone. What about lap times between these two then? Jochen Hahn was a little bit quicker, just over 1/10 of a second faster than Albacete on that previous lap. The gap between them at the moment is about 0.8 of a second. And Antonio's got more than half of this race left to go. So he needs to look after the tyres, keep the truck in a decent operating window, make sure the temperatures aren't too high. See whether he can hold Jochen back. Next up, Sascha Lenz, then Lucas Hahn. He leads the Chrome class at the moment. Mark Taylor second, Clemens Hecker third in that class at the minute. In terms of overall positions, they are 5th, 8th and 9th respectively. There is second place Antonio Albacete. Just heading into the final corner now. And across the line to complete the 6th lap of the race. There's a corner marker warning actually going out for Antonio Albacete, I can tell you. You can see the black and white flag out of the window. And the number 23. There's another one going out for Stefan Faas, number 24. And I think, yes, number 81, Mark Taylor. Having a warning go out of the window. Bradley Smith has got past Stefan Kirsch in the meantime, as you saw. Bradley now moving up into 14th position. 8th in his class. Jochen Hahn also will get a penalty marker warning on the next lap. And the race continues. Antonio was about 0.03 of a second slower than Jochen on that last lap, so only a tiny, tiny margin that you would not be able to calculate with the human eye. And the guys now move down into the hairpin. And a reminder there that the championship has been awarded with the FIA 3-star environmental accreditation for all of its efforts in making a sustainable racing championship in many forms. Not only do the trucks run on 100% renewable HVO diesel, but we have electric pace trucks, we have bio-LNG pace trucks as well, and we also have even teams. I mean, T-Sport Bernau that Antonio Albacete drives for, their team was awarded their own FIA Environmental Accreditation Award as well for their fantastic efforts and their methods in keeping things clean. Looks like Clemens Hecker is under attack from Stefan Faas there as they head up to the chicane. Those two right together. I couldn't tell if it was one truck or two trucks for just a moment there. We'll see them come into shot in just a moment. Stefan actually tries to move around the outside. Clemens holds him off for now as he runs wide on the exit of the chicane, right together. He wants to get another piece of silverware to take back after taking the win in the go and stop competition yesterday evening. It was highly entertaining, as he always is. Side by side, almost for second place as well. Jochen Hahn now launching his attack on Antonio Albacete. Just 0.3 of a second between the two of them at the end of that previous lap. There is Stefan now, almost warded off slightly from Clemens Hecker. They've got John Newell right behind as well, though. He'll snap up a podium if you give him half a chance. And those two are going to scrap together until the cows come home. Stefan wants another podium for his team, though, with this amazing Freightliner that they've built. So far this season in the class, he's had 4 podiums. Clemens Hecker took a win earlier in the campaign. He's had 5 podium performances so far this season. Had a great time at Misano to start the championship, a 3rd, 2nd and 1st. And then he won in class at the Slovakia ring as well, having an awesome overall podium, his first ever overall podium in his history in the championship. Now, Antonio Albacete, I didn't see the damage previously, but he's got the rear arch sort of hanging up over the wheels. I know that sounds like it's where it should be doing, or should be located, but it's actually sort of knocked out of place slightly, and you can see, look, it's flapping around now. I wonder if that's going to affect anything at all with the rear traction, but should be okay. We've had a 2nd penalty marker warning for numbers 81 and 24, and Antonio Albacete now. apparently Stefan Faas is under investigation. Let's go down to Christina.
René Reinhardt, what happened? Was ist passiert? Hört's auf Deutsch.
Ja, ich habe das vorher schon gesagt gehabt. Erste Kurve ist immer tricky hier am Nürburgring und ja, ging mir so. Dann erste Kurve rechts rein und dann war irgendwie Steffi neben mir. Ich weiß nicht, wo sie herkam und dann waren 3 Trucks nebeneinander. Steffi ist reingezogen, habe schon den ersten Hit mitbekommen und da hat mich schon ein bisschen zurückgeworfen und dann ja, bin ich runter, dann in die Links reingebremst, war relativ weit innen und wollte dann rechts raus. Und dann bin ich irgendwo hängen geblieben, entweder an Rodriguez oder an einem anderen Truck. Und dann hat es mich komplett gedreht. Noch Glück gehabt, dass sie den anderen noch nicht mich frontal reingefahren ist. Aber der Schaden ist schon relativ groß an dem LKW. Hoffe ich, ja, glaube ich. Danke.
So he's in a good mood that they're going to fix it, everything. He felt the contact from Steffi Halm at first, but then the second contact, we suppose it could be Bradley Smith, but then he's spun around as we see. Back to live commentary.
Yeah, it's a big shame that for René Reinhardt. It's horrible to be caught up in incidents like that, especially at the start of the race, and then not getting the chance to carry on as Jochen Hahn looks down the inside now of Antonio Albacete, goes for the move. They nearly lean on each other. They're kissing wing mirrors as they exit the Bilstein curve. Fantastic bit of close racing there. Now Antonio's going to try and hang it around the outside up towards the chicane. Is he going to keep the overlap? He is. Jochen's still on the right-hand side. Can Antonio go later on the brakes? No, he slots back in behind him. Jochen Hahn takes second position, and that is 3 championship points difference to Antonio. Jochen sliding his way through, kicking up the dust dramatically on the exit as well. Lovely stuff. And a very committed Jochen Hahn moves back up into second. Antonio didn't want to fight that one too hard. He just wanted to carry on with his race and score some championship points in a position where he should usually be. Across the line then, a lot of the fans will be pleased with that one here at the Nürburgring as Jochen Hahn retains second. Sascha Lenz not too far away now, actually, in 4th position. He wants a piece of this too. He can smell a podium, that's for sure. Lucas Hahn behind him there. Look, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm right together. Jose Eduardo's had some great pace in this first race of the day, actually. He's really switched it on this time round. He and Steffi had some wonderful battles last season on track. Some of the most entertaining fights we'd seen. And now Jose Eduardo wants an extra position. Don't forget, this season, the Portuguese driver is now in the Titan class, so he doesn't have to sort of hold back from fighting these Titan drivers and think about his Chrome Championship chances. He's fighting them for the overall standings now. That front left panel not looking too brand new, is it? Floating around a little bit. There's Lucas Hahn there, climbing over the curbs. Steffi does the same, so too does Jose Eduardo. Using all of the road where they can, kicking up the dust on the exit. But Jose Eduardo looks like he's just got this truck tightened up nicely here. And, oh, dearie me, Stefan Faas. Well, he may be attacking Clemens Hecker, but he's getting a drive-through penalty for hitting the penalty markers over 3 times and taking the mick out of track limits. He will have a drive-through, and that'll probably help Bradley Smith, actually, because Stefan is only 11 seconds ahead of him. Bradley Smith, by the way, continuing on this charge, and he's gotten past Louis Requenco now as well, so he's gained another spot. I think that puts him 7th in class. Yes, it does. Bradley Smith repaying the team's efforts here to get that truck back out as, oh, there's a piece of bodywork, actually. Can't quite figure out who that's from. It's a bit of a nightmare when it's a white piece of bodywork. It could be all manner of trucks in the field. But that has come away from somebody, obviously. I'll have to just keep an eye out on everyone and just see if there's any panels that look like they're slightly off kilter. I wonder if maybe it was a piece of John Newell's truck that came away from before, as Stefan Faas now comes through the pit lane in the excellent sounding Freightliner. Luke Garrett just getting a penalty marker warning actually thrown out by the officials. Norbert Kish then still continues to lead, over 6 seconds clear of Jochen Hahn now, with 1 lap to go after this one. Jochen ahead of Antonio with Sascha Lenz next up, then Lucas Hahn. Lucas having a great weekend as well. I'm sure he's thoroughly enjoyed being back in the championship, back as part of the scenery. John Newell there with a different bit of bodywork flapping away there. There is Norby heading up towards the chicane for the penultimate time in this race. Jochen Hahn has cleared off from Antonio Albacete. He was 0.4 of a second faster on that last circulation. He's doing a really good job now after having his pretty poor start, actually. Got overtaken by Sascha Lenz, lost a place. It's not something we usually see from Jochen, is losing a place early on. And there is the confirmation of the drive-through penalty for Stefan Faas. And he has indeed dropped behind Luke Garrett, Bradley Smith, Louis Requenco and Stefan Kirsch. I think he was still ahead of Christian Ruppert. As Norbert Kish now crosses the line to begin his final lap of the race here in the third race of the weekend at the Nürburgring in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. This should be the 15th round of the season, but technically it's the 13th. As now, Bradley Smith launches an attack on a driver that he's raced for quite a while in the British Series as well, Luke Garrett. Luke needs to be careful of those penalty markers. Ran a little bit wide through that one. Bradley is attacking. He'll be wanting to get an extra position before the end of the race and save some championship points when it comes to Mark Taylor. As he looks down the inside, actually, of Luke. Gets a great run off the corner, but he's going to be on the outside now for the next part. If he holds this all the way around the outside through the next left-hander as well and carries the momentum, he'll be on the inside for the exit of the Mercedes-Benz Arena, and that'll be a lovely move completed. Luke runs a little bit wide of the mark, and here comes Louis Requenco in the picture as well. Luke tries to squeeze Bradley to the inside. He runs a little bit deep on the exit. Bradley gets on the power, but he's sideways. Here comes Louis Requenco. Louis is going to take advantage of the pair of them now. He's suddenly down the inside of the Iveco, runs off the circuit. They're 3 wide into the hairpin once again. I don't know how they swap positions, but no, Louis got deep. Louis binned it into the hairpin. No, Louis. Oh, we've seen him do that before there as well. Poor Louis Requenco had such a great opportunity to be the hero, and he's thrown himself off into the gravel. He's going to get it going again, which is the main thing, but oh, poor Requenco. Norbert Kish wins. He wins the third race of the weekend. That came around quickly, didn't it? Jochen Hahn drives brilliantly to come back from 4th place to finish 2nd. A podium for Antonio Albacete. That'll mean a lot in this race for them. They will be over the moon with that one. And Sascha Lenz coming home in 4th position. Lucas Hahn 5th. Steffi Halm should be 6th ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And it's a win in the Chrome class as well for Lucas Hahn. Mark Taylor will be next up in that Chrome class. But Norbert Kish takes another one, and a fantastic, fantastic drive at the front of the field, opening up a decent advantage then. And John Newell, I can tell you, got on the podium on the last lap. He got past Clemens Hecker. John Newell did it. I was just doing my own results calculations then, and I was just about to put Clemens Hecker in 3rd place on the podium, but no. John got him. Luke Garrett beats Bradley Smith across the line. That's Bradley's 3rd finish in a row, where he will be 5th in the Chrome class, I'm pretty sure. That's the 3rd time this weekend as well that he's finished in 12th place, outside of the overall points. But it was Bradley Smith ahead of Stefan Kirsch, Louis Requenco, and then Stefan Faas. But a non-finish, unfortunately, for René Reinert. And there, Lucas Hahn taking his 3rd win of the weekend in the Chrome class. Oh, and apparently the reason that Clemens Hecker was not classified behind John Newell is the fact that he's gone off the runoff area in turn 3 with apparently a fire reported on the truck as well. So hopefully all is okay there. Hopefully the fire itself doesn't cause too much damage on the truck, and it's something that Hecker's team can sort out between races. But another great race for Lucas Hahn in the Chrome class. And here is the overall result then. Norbert Kish takes the race victory. Jochen Hahn in second place. Antonio Albacete in third. A good podium for him. Sascha Lenz just misses out on a podium in fourth. Lucas Hahn wins in Chrome. Steffi Halm was sixth, with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez finishing the Titan class in seventh. Then it was Mark Taylor and John Newell completing the podium there. Clemens Hecker was classified fourth in class and 10th, so he did cross the line and he did complete the race, but obviously pulled over after that at the end. Luke Garrett was 11th ahead of Bradley Smith, with Stefan Kirsch ahead of Louis Riquenco, Christian Ruppert and Stefan Faas at the back of the field. Well, a busy race indeed, with the red flag earlier on. And Norbert Kish takes his 11th win out of 13 races so far this season. Jochen Hahn takes another second place. Going to see how many second places that is actually for Jochen. I think now he's had 9 second places so far this season. No other podium finishes for Jochen. No wins, no thirds. All of his podiums have been second places, right down the middle. But again, big championship points. He'll be happy to have at least scored those when he was actually in fourth position by the end of the first lap. And apparently all is under control with the fire reported at Clemens Hecker's truck, so all good. Hopefully, like I say, hasn't caused too much damage for the team between races. I know a lot of the squads will want as chilled a time as they can have between these races. Another big handshake and a wink from Chaba to say well done to his driver, Norbert Kish. And he makes sure... One thing I love most about when Norby congratulates the team and greets them all, he congratulates all of them individually. Every single guy there gets a handshake. And same too for Jochen Hahn as well. He goes over and congratulates Chaba. Some really good sportsmanship there from Jochen. He knows just how good an outfit Reveche Racing is, and he shows them the utmost respect throughout the entire race weekend and season. There is Clemens Hecker, actually, driving on. So, despite the fire extinguisher, he pulled over after turn 3, but you can cut through to turn 7 from there. There are the old boys, as Jochen called them both at Le Mans a few years ago. His old sparring partner, Antonio Albacete, gets another podium. Some big points for them, though. 12 championship points there. That'll help them a lot in the pursuit of the likes of René Reinert and Steffi Halm. And quite a relaxed-looking Antonio Albacete here this weekend. There is the E-Unit truck. And you can see the little puddle there of where they extinguished Clemens Hecker's truck. There is Stefan Honens, master truck builder, Stefan. And oh, he goes to give Lucas a big hug, gets interrupted. But Lucas Hahn, another win in the Chrome class. Great weekend for him so far. He'll be looking to do the clean sweep there. I know that Mark Taylor will want to take at least one of those race victories away from him. Can he do that in the final race? Let's not forget, actually, that Mark Taylor will be on pole position for the final race of the weekend. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will start alongside him. Steffi Halm and Lucas Hahn will be on row 2. Everybody else below 8th place. John Newell, unfortunately, just missing out, actually, on the reverse grid, but he'll still get some silverware. I think that'll be his second podium of the weekend. Yeah, 3rd, 4th, 3rd for John Newell. Not a bad weekend at all. And how about that recovery drive for Bradley Smith? He eventually ended up 6th in class. That does now mean, though, that Mark Taylor leads the championship. He's turned a 4-point deficit into a 5-point advantage. So Mark is now top of the table. Norbert Kish extends his championship lead to 50 points over Jochen Hahn. He's almost an entire race meeting clear now at the very sharp end. Steffi Halm holds on to 3rd. She now has more than 100 points this season, does Steffi. 105 to her name. Let's head down to Christina.
Wir sind hier gerade im Chrome Shuttle. Das sind die Sieger in der Chrome-Kategorie. Hier Mark Taylor direkt vor mir. So, the British breakfast, also bacon und eggs, that helped.
Well, definitely, it's proved why it's done. Anyway, we've had a good finish. So, yeah, pleased.
Also er sagte, wir hatten auf jeden Fall ein gutes Finish und John Newell hier ganz hinten auf der Rückbank. You don't need any body parts, don't you?
Oh, we just need quite a lot of body parts. We got, on lap 1, we got completely turned into and every panel gone. But then we got the restart again and we ended up getting caught in traffic, lost a couple of places, then last 2 laps come back at the end and gained the couple back, so I'm more than happy.
Er hat auch gesagt, natürlich brauchen wir normalerweise doch unsere Bodyparts. Und dann hatten sie natürlich ein richtig großes Comeback. Das war sehr, sehr stark. Ganz vorne ist Lukas auch noch da hinten. Da reiche ich nicht ganz hin mit dem Mikrofon. Aber ich würde schon sagen, zurück zu unseren Kommentatoren. Back to commentators.
Thank you, Christina. Good to see John more than happy with that one. And I imagine it's extra rewarding to take that position right at the end. A real shame, though, for Clemens Hecker to have extra work to do between races. Let's have a look at the highlights then, shall we, of what has been a very long and arduous race 3 this afternoon. We started with a very interested prospect of the front row with Antonio Albacete joining Norbert Kisch for the first time this season, and the Dancing Marshals out in force once again. It was a great start the first time round by Antonio Albacete, but Norby defended it really well before the big incident happened in the background between Bradley Smith, René Reiner and John Newell. The race was very quickly red flagged and the operation began to recover René Reiner's truck and obviously fix Bradley Smith's machine. A great effort by Don't Touch Racing saw them get out just in time to join the pack from the back, and everybody was excited to see what Bradley could do. With the restart then, Norbert Kisch led us away, and this time it was Sascha Lenz taking advantage of Jochen Hahn to move up into 3rd position. Antonio held 2nd and did what he could, but before long, Jochen was making progress. He overtook Sascha Lenz quite early on. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez battled with Mark Taylor after a great scrap in the Chrome Championship together last year, and Bradley Smith was making his progress. There's the bodywork that came away. It was Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's on the start-finish straight. And Jochen Hahn was, before you know it, bearing down on Antonio Albacete. Antonio hoping for 15 points in the championship, but it would ultimately be 12 as Jochen would make his way through with a lovely move down the inside, and before long he would clear off into the distance. Great battle between Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm in the middle of the pack as well, while Stefan Faas got a drive-through penalty while chasing Clemens Hecker, and Louis Requenco had the chance to be the hero. After watching this battle between Luke Garrett and Bradley Smith, he threw himself off into the gravel in dramatic style, hoping for style points, I'm sure, while Norbert Kisch took another race victory. Lucas Hahn taking another win in the Chrome class as well in fantastic fashion. 3 wins out of 3 for him, not just this weekend, but this season, this being his first appearance. We hope to see him at a few more rounds. We usually see him at either Zolder or Most in Czechia. So hopefully we'll get Lucas back for some of those rounds, because he always adds an extra bit of spice into the Chrome category and obviously brings that wonderful big smile to the paddock as well. He's often around anyway, helping his father Jochen with his efforts through the championship, but obviously to get Lucas behind the wheel as well is additionally exciting. All the drivers and their teams have now made their way over to the fan village and the stage that's at the bottom end of the paddock. And as you see, our wonderful, usual German commentator, Joachim Eberts, he's on the stage there. The legend that is Jörg Hennig is doing the German commentary for the streams this weekend. EB is just a ball of enthusiasm. He's absolutely brilliant, very passionate about what he does, great sense of humour. And we welcome out onto the podium then our top 3 finishers. Not a bad weekend so far for Antonio Albacete, to say the least. That 7th place in the first race will be a distant memory now, as he takes a win in race 2 and a 3rd place in race 3. Interestingly, he scores more points for this position than he did for his race win yesterday. He got just 10 points for the race win, 12 here. Jochen Hahn, huge smile on his face after that one. He had to work a little bit harder this time round after falling to 4th position to make his way back up into second. That sort of race that Jochen enjoys, and it's the sort of race that Norbert Kiss enjoys as well. Another win to add to his ever-increasing tally. And what a great podium that is as well. I mean, we call them the Titan class, but if there is anybody in truck racing that is a Titan, these guys are the ones. We have on that podium 15 championship titles between them. 6 for Norbert Kiss, 6 for Jochen Hahn, and 3 for Antonio Albacete. The difference to Antonio being that his career has spanned that long in so many different series that I think his titles added up would be more than that of Norby and Jochen combined. He's an absolute legend. They receive their trophies, and now we have the national anthem of Hungary.
Nochmal einen Riesenapplaus gebe big hand to Norbert Kiss, Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete.
And as you can see, a lot of Norbert Kiss's fans down there in the, let's call it the media pen in front of the stage. You can see his partner, Marty, there taking pictures as well. Very talented photographer, does all the pictures and media for Reveche Racing. And 3 of our absolute titans join each other on the top step of the podium. They'll change their caps, as is tradition. And more pictures.
So, auch da dürft ihr noch mal applaudieren. Es ist Sonntag, es scheint die Sonne, macht mal ein bisschen Feuer hier.
Still not an entirely buzzing-looking Antonio Albacete, though. I think the difficult start to the season has certainly caught up with him a bit. But we know that he can bounce back if anyone can. And T-Sport Bernau will continue their very professional approach to their racing. And Jochen, again, decides to soak the media even further after the other guys are done. Let's have a look at the championship standings then. With Norbert Kiss, 203 points now, with 153 going the way of Jochen Hahn. Steffi Halm on 105, 10 points clear of René Reiner after that DNF. 81 points for Sasha Lenz, 69 and 64 apiece for Antonio Albacete and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Antonio actually moves ahead of him with that, so he's climbing back up the ranks, which is good to see. Mark Taylor on 32, ahead of Bradley Smith on 28. 25, Heinrich Clementeca now actually has his race number as his point score. Lucas Hahn has 24 points, surpassing his race number, with Stefan Faas on 17. 11 points to John Newell, ahead of Jonathan Andre and Louis Requenco, who are both tied on 7. And Luke Garrett has just 2 points to his name so far. Stefan Kirsch and Christian Ruppert haven't broken through into the top 10 yet this season, but I'm sure with some good persistence they will do. Christian Ruppert always getting quicker, always getting closer to the drivers around him. But he's enjoying the learning experience. There's the legend himself, EB. Such an iconic voice of truck racing. We actually have a massive compiled spreadsheet of loads of historic results and everything behind the scenes that we all share here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And EB spent years putting it all together, and we just simply call it the EB system, because it's just put some numbers in and it figures it all out for you and calculates records and all sorts. It's brilliant. John Newell makes his way up to the podium. As he said to Christina just earlier, he's more than happy to get another podium. That's his second of the weekend. Third of the weekend for this man. Might just be finishing his full English. Mark Taylor makes his way to the podium. A big handshake between the two competitors. These guys have raced each other for years in the British Championship as well. And it was lovely to see them arrive on the scene here in Europe at around the same time. And a big round of applause for a big smiling face of Lucas Hahn.
Die Pokale werden wieder überreicht von Rudi Speich, dem Vorsitzenden des ADAC Mittelrhein.
We get John Newell receiving his third place trophy, some more silverware for the team. Mark Taylor as well receives his second place trophy. I'm sure Alan and Kay will be displaying that one nicely at their awning, wherever they will decide to place it. And Lucas Hahn takes another race winner's trophy, make sure it definitely says number 1 on it, and raises it high. And now we'll have the German national anthem before the champagne.
Nochmal einen Riesenapplaus an Lucas Hahn, Mark Taylor und John Newell, die sich jetzt auch aufstellen für das offizielle Foto. Riesenapplaus, macht nochmal ein bisschen Wallung. Wir haben einen deutschen Sieger.
And the guys now pose for pictures on the top step of the podium.
Wunderbar, macht ihr gut.
And big smiles.
Wenn das gleich noch ohne
time for champagne.
Bin ich total zufrieden.
They won't soak each other. It's not really tradition in races 1 and 3. More races 2 and 4. To be fair, the chrome podium always behaves itself, actually. They don't tend to drench each other. It's the overall podium where we tend to see more of that. And now we'll check their championship standings as well. And as you see, 5 points clear now. Mark Taylor at the top of the standings. Him and Bradley Smith have swapped the positions around more times than I've had hot dinners so far. John Newell doing well now. 8 points clear of Clemens Hecker, up into 3rd place in the championship. Louis Rukwenko currently in 5th, 8 points ahead of Stefan Fast, but he is, well, fast approaching, you could say. Luke Garrett is 7th, with Lucas Hahn behind on 50, maximum points from the weekend so far for him. Jonathan Andre on 38, Christian Ruppert on 36, always getting a bigger tally, with Stefan Kirsch on 32 points in 11th. A great turnout so far this season in the Chrome class. It's been lovely to watch. And we hope to see that improve more and more as time goes on. But I believe we'll have an interview with one of our drivers in just a moment, and that may be it for the show as we all prepare for the second race later on this afternoon. We've run over by a little bit here, but that's okay. Who really minds, to be honest with you? Let's go back down to Christina, and we'll see you again later.
Wir sind hier mit dem Gewinner des Rennens, Race Winner Norbert Kirsch, and this beautiful trophy. Well done, Norby. Yeah, it's a nice trophy.
I love it when we have something unique. It's really nice. So thank you, Nürburgring. Thank you.
That sounds great. Well, the start, of course, if you have to manage a restart, this is always another concentration phase. How did you manage to get the second time then the level up?
Yeah, obviously it's not the best situation, when we stop. I had a good start, I had a bit of a gap already, and to do it again. And of course, my second start was worse, and Antonio was a lot closer. But the first turn was it's here on the Nürburgring. The first turn is for the pole position guy. So obviously I was in the best position in the second start as well to make it happen. And it was good, but obviously it's a bit difficult, to do it again.
I know you can maybe have the heart, of course, for the other technicians also, because Don't Touch Racing, they had like 4 minutes and they swapped the bumper. What can you say? Maybe I know you didn't see anything of that, but you have the feeling for it. How close was it for the team to put such an effort in?
Yeah, I mean, I saw them a little bit, because there is the TV screen just right in front of us when we are standing on the grid, and I saw the guys. And some of those guys we've been working together in the Mercedes team a few years ago. So I know them, that they are really hardworking and good guys. And I see them working still when we had, the 3-minute sign and the 1-minute sign, and they were still there working and fixing. So I mean, it's a team sport for sure, and it's unfortunate when you crash and you have to do some fixing. But I mean, I think all the teams put in a lot of effort to make it happen, and have us on the grid or have us at the race start. And try to do the best we can. So like I said, it's a team sport. So all the team mechanics are doing a very hard work all the time. So I know it from our team as well, and from others as well.
Thank you very much. Great respect from the reigning champion, and also this nice trophy goes up to Team Revis right now. See you on the next race, everyone, because we're still one more race to go, ladies and gentlemen. So see you in a bit, and soon we get started with the last race of this race weekend. And in German we say Tschüss und bis bald. Und da sind wir wieder in der Fan-Area hier beim Truck Grand Prix am Nürburgring. Sonntagmittag wird es jetzt so langsam. Es ist immer noch richtig was los hier. Was mich natürlich freut, dass die Leute noch nicht nach Hause fahren, sondern noch Motorsport erleben wollen. Und alles, was hier sonst noch so geboten ist, das ist ja so ein bisschen Festivalstimmung. Also alle, die Trucks lieben, die Motorsport lieben und die wahrscheinlich sonst sehr viel alleine auf dem LKW sitzen, weil sie Dinge von A nach B fahren, die haben hier so ein bisschen Familienfest, können abends